And we are live. Welcome to not a post-game show, despite what the graphic says. It is a Rangers off-day show discussing your favorite hockey team in New York. I am joined alongside what might as well be my co-host now, Jerry and Aaron, both of these fine gentlemen appearing on the Blueshirts Banter podcast on a consistent basis. As always, before we get into the thing, make sure you hit that thumbs up, comment your thoughts and opinions about this team. Hit the live chat. Let us know what you have to think about this team and the recent performances. We'll be going over the last 3 games. And hit that subscribe button as you're watching bottom right-hand corner, regardless if you're watching live or the rerun. You know where to hit that button. Also, follow me at CPNY Sports on all social media. Follow Aaron on social media as well. His YouTube is going to be in the description down below, and make sure you're tapping in with the Sunny Days Media crew on YouTube. All of those are going to be in the description, so make sure you go check those guys out and follow Jerry's blogs on Sunny Days Media, or is it Sunny Days Media? SunnyDaysInFlushing.com. Yeah, SunnyDaysInFlushing.com. That's also in the description down below. So let's get right into it, gentlemen. Let's just get right into it. The last 3 games for the New York Rangers, all wins, as you can see per the thumbnail. 3 games ago, is an exciting game. Primetime TNT game against the Detroit Red Wings. Obviously, we know how it went down. Rangers took a lead. Red Wings came back with 2 goals of their own, and the Rangers were just able to steal that game on primetime. Their second win against the Detroit Red Wings this season. Both of those games coming on TNT. As you can see, your goal scorers here are Keandre Miller, Artemi Panarin, and Jimmy Vesey. Jimmy Vesey, by the way, has been playing lights out, phenomenal hockey. Want to make sure I shout him out real quick. And Igor Shesterkin, we had that conversation in the last Blue Shirts Banner episode between you and I, Jerry, and all of us, really, depending on or wondering if we not only could depend on Igor Shesterkin, which I think we all know that we can, but also whether he was going to play in that back-to-back in that primetime game, because he didn't in that game against Boston, and we were pretty upset about that. So he did appear, and he got the win in net for the New York Rangers in this game. Aaron, I'm going to start with you first here about this game. What stood out to you in this game, first and foremost? Like I said, another win against the Detroit Red Wings, a great hockey team within themselves, top 5 seed in the Eastern Conference as of right now. What stood out to you about this team in this win?
That we beat Patrick Kane as he was on the ice for the Red Wings as he signed over there for the 1-year deal. But no, I mean, I didn't realize that out of the 88 goals that Jimmy Vesey has, 25 of them are game winners. So shout out to Jimmy Vesey right there. But yeah,
Absolutely.
that was an interesting stat that I saw the other day, and it was just a little crazy that I hope that we I can't even talk right now. It's a little crazy that we won this game, just because when we went down 2-1, it was like 2 goals in 23 seconds for the Red Wings, and it was like the second goal was just I couldn't believe we didn't play any defense there. But I mean, overall, I mean, we pretty much beat Detroit like pretty hard in like every category, I think, except for like block shots. And it's just good that we're 3-0 against the original 6 team so far this year.
Jerry, what you got? I can't hear you, Jerry. I'm not sure if it's just me, though. But when Jerry gets that working, we'll go ahead and get him back up here. I wanted to ask you, Aaron, was Patrick Kane skating that? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you can hear me now. The only thing is
Yeah, I can hear you now. That's perfect. Go ahead, take it away. First of all, Patrick Kane was on the ice for the Red Wings that game, or no? Because I thought that
No, he was no, he's already on practice. That's why I said it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see.
He's playing against the Sabres. It was just funny that we beat him, because he was talking about it pregame that he likes this Red Wings team. They're nice and young, this and that. Pretty much just like, I mean, I probably throw a little shade at the Rangers, but it's okay, because Alex DeBrink is his buddy from Chicago, so I knew he was going to sign there.
Jerry, what you got?
Am I back? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you. Yes.
Cool. First and foremost, I just want to say hockey is better when the original 6 is on top. I don't know if that got through before, but you'll never hear me say a bad word about another original 6 team. I think all 6 of them are great franchises, and I love to see them competitive. Second of all, the theme to this podcast tonight is that it's never easy. And this is the first one in the It's Never Easy column. This one had me sitting on my hands the entire time, mainly because I took Rangers. I took Rangers to win in regulation on my ticket for that night. It didn't matter because the LA Kings screwed me in the end, but that was a very fun one. We got Key was on the board. His name's down below. 2 points in this game, second star according to ESPN. So, I had my choice words about him. He's another one that's really been on a prove it to me basis because he just didn't show up at the playoffs when it mattered, but that's either here nor there. It's a new year, it's a new season. I personally think he's been lackluster to begin with. But 2 points here against a very solid Red Wings seems good to see. Igor played those 2 back-to-back goals really quick. Were tough to see. And immediately in our group chat and on Twitter, immediately everyone's like, Jonathan Quick, get him in. And like he took a deep breath, Igor. He got his stuff together. He was ready to go. And the rest of the game, he stood on his head. And there was many times where he kept us in that game towards the end when they were making their final push and throwing everything in the kitchen sink at the net. And he was just turning everything away. But it was a great game. I'm happy we walked away with the win. It was great to have that win on home ice against Patrick Kane. That was huge. The Garden was buzzing. And, yeah, it was definitely a fun one to watch on TNT in primetime.
Absolutely. And just to go off that point as well, I mean, we're going to talk about the Sharks game as well. I'll definitely rely on you gentlemen to kind of give some insight there because it was another NHL network game that I just couldn't be tuning into. I didn't have the means to do it that night. So, but yeah, I mean, I agree with you. The whole goalie controversy is something that it's just getting old now. I guess when I had told you gentlemen about the chatter on Rangers Twitter about the whole goalie controversy and Jonathan Quick versus Igor Shesterkin. I mean, I really wasn't lying. I'm sure you guys are starting to see a little bit more now, especially before that Sharks game. So, like I said, like you said, Jerry, as well, it was a great win, and this team is firing on all cylinders. Like it's never easy, but a win's a win. And the amount of complaining I see on Rangers Twitter about these types of wins is just like, what
They're never
more do
happy.
you want?
They're literally never
real.
happy. It doesn't make sense. Be quiet. Enjoy the wins. They're 17-4. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at
18-4-1.
18-4-1 right now. It's just, come on. Be happy. This is why people do not like us. This is why people think we're trash. We're not trash. We're classy. But we need to be happy when we deserve to be happy. We deserve to be happy right now. It's ridiculous.
Yep. Absolutely. You couldn't not have said it better. And like I said, yeah, I just on Rangers, other Rangers content creators, like I just like to peruse YouTube and see what the general vibe is. And I get that there's like a sentiment of unease with these sorts of, and I'm not talking about the Red Wings game because they're a fine team. We'll talk about it in the Sharks game, the Predators game, but like at the end of the day, 18-4-1 is what you need to know. And does this team get off to slow starts? Yes, and we'll talk about it.
Some games, yeah.
But we have a different coach now. And
Yeah.
he's getting these boys adjusted in the intermissions. So that's something we couldn't say, we couldn't be confident in with Gerard Gallant at helm. But we have Peter Laviolette now, and he is literally getting these guys adjusted in game, which I think is the most underrated aspect of some of the wins this season. And not many people are talking about that. Like, it's not going to be all shutout hockey 24/7 for 60 minutes. It's not. And the fact that these Rangers are adjusting on the fly speaks it just speaks volumes within itself. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just how I feel about it. So the amount of, complaining and moaning on Rangers Twitter is just absolutely egregious. And I really hope they just keep winning because there are some fans, it's getting to like, and I'm not sure if it's always been like this, but it's getting to like a Mets territory where fans are just waiting for them to lose just so they can go on rants on social media. So
there's 2 things here, though, real quick, and it's just it's the consistency at this point where we've seen like if we were going to drop off, we would have done it after the first 10 games. I think we've seen teams before. We've seen Buffalo Sabre teams go 10-0 to start the season a couple of years ago, and then just fizzle out and end up like 40-40, basically. I don't think that's going to happen here. Second of all, this isn't like the NFL. where obviously when you're at the top of the top and you're a great team, you have to beat good and bad, like good and below teams when it comes to tiers. You should be beating everybody, and you should be beating up on the bad teams. I don't know how closely you guys have been following, but the Arizona Coyotes are just taking names of top tier teams recently. I think the Knights are their latest victim, but like where in the NFL, when you're a great team and you play a bad team, you're expected to blow the doors off them. CC, sorry to offend Chris, but Cowboys, Giants to start the season, stuff like that. And
Yep.
in the NHL, that's not really the case. In the sport of hockey, that's not really the case. Yes, you should be winning these games, but with hockey, like that puck can bounce any way at any time. You can never predict what exactly is going to happen, when it's going to happen. And because of that, a lot of these games are going to be neck and neck, closer than they should be games, while we're at an elite level and they might not be. The other team might not be at that same elite level, which is fine. And I don't understand how you could be upset about that as long as we're coming away with a W. If we're losing these games, it's a different story. Let's have a conversation, but we're not. We're 18-4-1, so something's going right.
Absolutely. Aaron, anything to add on to that, or you're good on that?
Nah,
front? Because I think that was
pretty
nice
good on
little
that
spiel
front. The only thing I want to ask is, anyone buying those $279 new Rangers jerseys?
No. Dude, they're not
I
even
think I'm
wearing
gonna
them in the
pass.
Stadium Series. I thought those are Stadium
Wow.
Series jerseys, and they're not even wearing them in the Stadium Series.
Oh, Jesus. I just couldn't believe the price
First of
when I
all,
saw it. I was like, oh, okay. These are like kind of mid.
First of all, what are your opinions on them? First and foremost, that's like
They don't bring anything to the table. They should have stuck with what they wore last year. I thought last year's third jersey was significantly better. The year before that jersey, the Lady Liberty was just, you can't really go wrong with that. That
Yeah.
or bring back. They should have met in the middle. Do you remember back in the Brandon Dubinsky days and the Rick Nash days? They had the really
Yes.
really dark. I don't have it here. I think it's at my parents' house. But the really really dark third jersey, it said New. I guess they all say New York. I think this one said Rangers, but that was a nice jersey. They should have went something more akin to that. That would have been cool.
Yeah, that was a good one back then.
absolutely. So yeah, that's like I said, just to sum this game up, nice little win on prime time. The Rangers obviously had a little bit of a falter there, giving up those two quick goals with the lead, but they came back in the end. Jimmy VC clutch as always, like Aaron just said. That's absolutely insane. I was not aware of that stat. 25 of 88 are game winners for Jimmy VC. That is
My
absolutely insane.
my man's
And like,
playing for a big boy contract. He's sick of his league
absolutely.
minimum.
Absolutely. So we'll see what happens on that front. But yeah, Rangers get a nice little dub there. Red Wings are a great team. Like I said, there's no shade to them. I know the Rangers are 2-0, but that's a team come playoff time that can definitely give the Rangers some fits on any given night. So definitely not underestimating the Red Wings by any case, but the Rangers get it done once more against them. This game was one of the more exciting hockey games, and it's like not exciting if you're it was exciting if you're a Rangers fan because you were just kind of like on your seat. Are they gonna come back? Are they gonna come back? They look like crap right now. So like what's the deal? Absolutely horrible start. We were texting. I was watching a stream for the Rangers game, and I was just like mesmerized with how flat they came out in this game. And Jerry said it perfectly. They probably spent a little bit too much time on Broadway the night before. So yeah, absolutely horrid start. Obviously, we all know the Predators went into the first intermission with a 2-0 lead. And the Rangers started to pick it up at the start of the second period. Peter Laviolette changed up some lines. He deployed a nice little Trocheck, Kreider, Brodzinski line. And by the way, Brodzinski is playing really freaking well ever since being
Yeah.
called up. He's flying out there, and I definitely like what I see out of him. So just want to throw that little nugget out there. But obviously, in the end, the Rangers come back. Like I said, it was an exciting. It just seems like the Predators always give this Rangers squad trouble, and no matter what it seems. And when it was 2-1 in that second period, it just seemed like the Rangers had all the chances to tie it up. They were going on the power play, and they let up a shorthanded goal. So a lot of sloppy play in this game from the New York Rangers, but the adjustments were made, and they came around, and they were up to the task when it really mattered. So Igor, I know, 36 to 39 here. Listen, if Igor had an off night or off day in that game, we're looking at a different outcome here because there was a stretch of that game, whether it be the first period or the early goings of the second period, where the Predators could have probably put that game out of reach very quickly before the Rangers offense started to get going. And if you didn't realize that, then you should go back and watch the tape because I'm going to give a lot of credit to Igor in this game. Jerry, what did you see? What did you not like? And what did you like, obviously, in the win against the Predators over there in Nashville?
So, like you said, this is how Igor Shesterkin makes his paycheck. He might make some boneheaded plays, and he might do things that I personally don't approve of, that the fan base doesn't approve of, that they're going to start questioning whether or not he's a true number one. It's going to happen. But when the chips are down and all bets are off, and you need him to come up big, he's going to come up big, and he's going to make those stands like he did again towards the end of the game, where he kept it tight and kept that lead going into everything, and everything was fine. It's funny that I forgot who said it, but in the media, I would say a couple days before this game, someone said something about Nashville being one of the toughest cities to play in because everyone goes out and parties on Broadway and blah blah blah. I don't know if that really happened, but we like Chris said, I said that in the group chat, and it very much so looked like it. We came out. I was setting up my Christmas tree. I was having a great Saturday, just hanging around. I had my finger on the trigger. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch this game. This is gonna be ugly again. They're gonna spank us. It's gonna be a whole thing. And then Trocheck scored. And I'm like, all right, we got a little bit of life here in the second period. Let's see what happens. And we just from there, everything just kept rolling. When they scored their third goal, I got scared when they went up 3-1. I'm like, this might be over. But then no, they fought back. They came back, and that was that. Kreider and Lindgren was his first goal of the season. So good for Lindgren there. That's my warrior. He's a guy. Yeah, just a tough fought game through and through. All 60 minutes fully played. And that's what we're really happy to be seeing here. I feel like in the playoffs specifically last year, but more so again during the season, it definitely happened. We saw the Rangers not finish games. Start strong, go up big, give up leads, do whatever. Same song and dance over and over again. Now, I feel like, and we could say this in all three games, we're playing 60-minute hockey here, and that's how it has to be. And I'm happy to see that happen. I know in the next game we're going to cover, it was a little bit more the opposite, and things started to get a little worrisome. So we'll get into that in a second. But like I said before, we were talking about the Red Wings game. It's never easy, and that's the theme of the podcast. So this game wasn't easy, but we walked away with a W, and our train keeps rolling.
Yeah, I wasn't even sure that Lindgren had that goal because I know Trocheck was like in that area.
I thought it went off Trocheck too. Yeah. I thought he got a third.
But it always seems like Ryan O'Reilly just likes to score against us. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Whether he was with St. Louis or the Avalanche. Like, sheesh.
My man was playing NHL 2024. He was just making it look easy out there on that first goal.
Oh my god. But I mean, I was a little nervous myself just because, like, I feel like not even this year, just in the past, like we can never be backup goalies. And I was like, oh come on, like. We're really gonna lose to I hope I say his last name right, Lankinen. Like, I was just like, oh god. But I mean, did better on the power play. I feel like we haven't been doing well with it, like scoring wise. I think we were 1 for 4 on that one. So I mean, overall, after that first period, I was just like, is this a Dan Quinn Rangers team or is this Peter Lava? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it was very sluggish in that first period, especially on defense. So I'm just glad we got the dub, and I'm starting to get heart attacks here with all these comebacks. Like, sheesh.
Yeah.
Makes it more fun.
A little bit, yeah.
It does make it more fun. But I think we would all prefer the Rangers to sort of get off to a strong start and keep it that way. But like you said, cardiac Rangers are in full effect over the last couple of nights. So Rangers 1 for 2 on the power play, 3 for 4 on the penalty kill. Adam Fox had 3 assists this game. Trocheck, I thought, had 4 points, but obviously they might have reverted it back to that Lindgren goal because I thought that it went off of Trocheck as well, right? But I guess that did get credit to Lindgren. Other than that, 3-point night for Vincent Trocheck and Jacob Trouba. Like I said with that line, that makeshift line, Kreider, Trouba, and Brzezinski, Trouba kind of just hanging around there, in the front of the net and finds a nice little opportunity there for a second goal of the season. So nice to see that, and Trouba getting involved in the offense a little bit, rather than just hit sticking his way through everybody on the defensive side. But yeah, like I said, it was it was one of those things where they made adjustments. Peter Laviolette changed the lines up a little bit. I believe Bonino got shaken up as well, and he further changed the lines after that as well. I can't remember if the Bonino injury when he got kind of boarded there, which I also don't even think they called a penalty on. That was
No.
definitely should have been a penalty. Because Nick Bonino was definitely shaken up. I'm not sure if he came back in the game after that or not. I didn't pay attention to that, but that was a little ridiculous. And the linesmen just like that game. It just seems like every single game, the linesmen are just pulling something out of their hats to just go against the Rangers. And there was a couple of missed calls there. Forgot exactly what the other instances were, but I know to close out the first period, I believe it was Trocheck had a couple of words, or it's either Trocheck or Goodrow had a couple of words for the linesman to see something there. But yeah, I mean the penalties also the penalties the Rangers are taking, like that one on Goodrow there was pretty bad. They got
a lot of those were
I don't know
soft.
how you
A lot of those calls were soft though.
that too. That doesn't help at all. So I don't know what has to happen there, but I mean, we'll get into some potential future Rangers here in a second. Aaron put that up, but I don't know. What is your guys' confidence level in this roster as currently stands? Do you think they need another piece, or do you think that they can roll with what they got as of right now, and maybe you'll see maybe an Ottman kind of call up if they choose to do that? But are you think that they just gonna stick with this and ride this out, or do you think that we're gonna see some moves here in the next couple of just at all in general throughout the season?
So I want to talk about Ottman, and I want to talk about him later because there was a huge win in Hartford this
Yes, I
past
was about to talk
weekend.
about that. Yeah.
But there's one move that I have in mind, and some might hate this, and it also plays well into what we're going to talk about when we preview the next game. But I think we have to run it back with number 91. I think we give it another try.
There you go. Let's talk about it.
They're not going anywhere. I don't think they really have a chance. He wants a chance. He loved the Rangers. I think if we bring Tarasenko back in, the only question is where do you put him? But I think if you bring him back in, I think we can actually make this work this time because out of the two blockbuster people we brought in last season, well, I'll throw this out there, and everyone who's listened to this podcast knows my stance. It wasn't Kane's fault. The guy didn't have a left hip, so whatever. And guess what? He still put up 6 points in the first round of the playoffs. Sue him. Whatever. Tarasenko loved the team. Tarasenko played very well with the team. A lot of this team is recycled from last year, so the chemistry is not gone. It's not. You don't just forget how to play with each other. So I think if we bring him back in, I just don't know how you do it, how you structure it, where you put him, but I trust Jared to make it work, especially because I think everybody wants him around here. So,
yeah, I mean, my guy's obviously Matt Zuccarello. I just know the contract's not really going to work because it's just bring him home. The Wild are just a dumpster fire. Obviously, they're winning with it was a potential Rangers coach and John Haynes, however you want to say it. But I just feel like we need to bring him back. He's still doing pretty good. It's just that damn contract. I think he gets like $8 million or something like that. I'm trying to look it up right now, but he's been playing amazing. We just need another winger. I didn't realize Brzezinski was going to be this good with 4 assists already in 2 games. But I just think we just need another wing to complement with Capo Caco gone because I think they have Laugh playing the second line. I think I would rather have him play the first line, but that's just me. I feel like that chemistry was a lot better.
I didn't realize they moved him down. Yeah, I think he should definitely go back up.
Yeah.
So I was just going to ask you in terms of this slide, and I think that Tarasenko 100%. I mean, I enjoyed watching him last season with the Rangers. If he's on board with that, definitely bring him back here. It provides instant offense for this team, and like I said, the Rangers looked dangerous with him on the ice, and he made an immediate impact. Like scored a goal in his first game last season, his Rangers debut, I believe it was. Just looks absolutely lethal. And the Rangers would certainly benefit from that. But my question to you, gentlemen, is that are we talking about adding anybody on this list, or maybe some names not on this list because of the Capo Caco injury, or because Blake Wheeler just is not getting it done?
Let's see. I think the two we talked about. I don't think there's any. I don't think we have any need for Wayne Simmons. I don't think Phil Kessel's ever going to wear a pair of skates again. I think he's done. And Jesper Fox, I could take or leave.
Wow. Hurting on Jesper Fast. Nah. I figured Jesper just because I feel like we could get something out of him from Carolina. We've had trades with them in the past, like with the Bray Shea deal and all that. But I just figured Wayne Simmons and Kessel just because I think our cap space is only at like 1.75 mil.
Is Wayne Simmons on a roster? Is he still on the Maple Leafs?
No, he was.
No, he's
No,
not.
I think they let him go because I think last year he was mostly playing in their AHL affiliate.
Also, Chris, to your point, I can get down with just riding it out.
It's feasible.
It kind of, again, not to tie everything back to the NFL here, but like during the trade deadline in the NFL, we talked about not making moves. The Lions didn't make any moves. The Jets didn't really make any moves, and it hurt them. Kind of hurt them in the long run a little bit. I feel like it's a little different in hockey because when the chemistry is such an important aspect of the game. So I think if it's word don't fix what's not broken type deal. So we could probably get away with it, but again, if Tarasenko's staring down the barrel of our gun, and we can get him for a solid deal and fit him in and actually retain him this time, I think it's worth entertaining. Same thing with Zuccarello. We can get Minnesota to retain some of that salary. He's on a pretty team-friendly deal with, I think, only 1 year left. And he's at the end of his career. He's got to be up there now in age. He's definitely no spring chicken. So if we can get him on a senior veteran deal on the lower end going into the offseason, like you said before, Cass, bring him home, I think that'd be pretty legit if we can get him for like 2 years after we acquire him at the deadline.
Yeah, he's 35 right now, and his cap hit is $6 million for next year. I just didn't think we were going to have the cap just because of who we have on the roster.
So I also wanted to pose this question while we were on this slide talking about potential future Rangers, given the roster with Capo Caco on the LTIR now, and no really telling when he's going to be back. I heard some rumors or rumblings about with the Rangers' current cap for the season moving forward that the Rangers really aren't in the position to bring Capo Caco back, even if he's eligible to come back within the season. They would wait if he's ready to play
For the
potentially
playoffs.
for the playoffs. And even then, whoever they if they do have a replacement for him, if they do bring in a fly, like just a player, then take a flyer on a player, and he ends up making an impact, maybe they leave Capo Caco off the entire playoffs as well. Like they don't have any ties to bring him back whatsoever if they choose that that's the best route for them. So like where you guys stand on that? Because I heard that interesting nugget, and I'm not exactly sure how the season's salary cap relates or equates to that, but I heard that that was the reason why he potentially wouldn't be brought back into the playoffs, even if he is eligible to come back and it feels good and he says he wants to come back. So where are your guys' minds in a possible scenario if that were to come to fruition?
Worked for Tampa for like several years. They did that with Stamkos like 4 years in a row. So, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I just don't know if it's going to screw up the feng shui of the team, That's my biggest concern, going back to the chemistry thing. Is he going to fit? Can he get back in? I think he can, but
You bring him back for the playoffs, though, if he's good to go?
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely,
You
as
always
long as
need
he's
depth
able to fit in
pieces.
comfortably. That too. That's a huge part of
Yeah.
that, especially if you don't even have to dress him half the time. Like say you know, I don't know, another winger gets hurt or whatever and needs to take a break, let's say, like a big time winger. Can't think of any examples right now, but if it happens and like you don't necessarily want to put him down, give him the day off. Okay, Kako, you're in. Let's go. And he's fresh legs, ready to go. So I think that's one way to look at it. Kind of like the two running back strategy we'd love to talk about, where You bring up that third running back for the playoffs, basically, and you have him, fresh legs, no scheme, ready to go, that type of deal where Kako's just itching to get back out there. He's hungry. Next thing you know, he has 5 goals in 3 games.
Word. Yeah, especially
Yeah.
that would definitely work. There was another name. I just didn't want to say it because of what was transpiring, but would Corey Perry at all be a good death piece for us? I'm
I've
pretty
heard
sure it would be an
whispers.
easy signing. I mean, he's a good player. He's definitely
A guy
definitely
you'd love to have on your
aggressive
team.
on the boards. Yeah, definitely a guy you'd love to have on the team. I just don't know what's going on with his situation. I heard it's more of like an alcohol thing, but I'm not sure. But I feel like that would be a really good piece too for the wing. I think we should, if we can, we would sign him now. But
While on the subject of Kako, did we get confirmation on his injury yet, or is it just an LBI still?
I don't think that we have. I'm
No.
trying to look that up right now as we speak, but I'm not seeing anything on that.
I
Let's
don't
see
think you
here.
will see anything on that. They're probably going to keep that pretty close to the chest.
Yeah, I don't.
that's the only bad thing about the NHL. They always just put lower body injury. They never just be specific.
Yeah, it's definitely his knee. We know that it's his knee, right? Like it's not a question whether it's his knee or not. We just want to know the significancy or the extent of it because they believe it's not going to be season ending. So obviously any torn ligaments are out of the question, right? So like maybe it's a sprain. I mean, who knows at this point? So they did say that they don't believe it's season ending. I'm not sure if you saw that piece, Jerry, or not, but he will
They
be
said
back
it's
or
not?
he'll be eligible to be
Okay.
back. It's not
That's
season
good.
ending. Yeah.
That's good. I didn't see that.
Are you exploring a trade for him then? I mean, I'm not sure who's
No.
going to trade for him at
No.
this point or this juncture.
No.
Okay.
No. You leave him be. Listen, I don't know. I like to think that he's developing just fine. I think he's taken the step that Lafreniere is taking right now. I think he took that last year. I think he's just having a tough year, and the injury is just the icing on the cake. So I think he comes back hungry in 2024, 25.
Yeah, I feel like
Or
he's gonna
maybe
have
even
a
earlier.
Lafreniere like surge next year. Like how Laugh is finally like producing. I feel like that's gonna happen with Kako.
Valid. Let's move on to this game before we close her out here. And this was, I mean, I was keeping up on the app. Like I said, it's another NHL Network game. I despise those. So I didn't see the X's and O's of the actual game. Was happy to see Breadman get that hat trick. That was huge. 6-5 win against the lowly Sharks doesn't really put your mind at ease. Didn't come easy when it should have. But
Never
I
does.
mean, with the overall performance that you all saw, as well as Jonathan Quick's performance. You see here 23 of 25 for Jonathan Quick. I mean, like obviously this is a win, right? We're not going to be talking about we just went into this whole spiel about being too upset about a win at the end of the day. There are cause for concerns in terms of not playing the whole 60 like Jerry was saying. So, where's your guys' mind at here on this victory over the Sharks? And just by the way, I'm not sure if you see it on the screen here, Jerry, but Mika did score. So that's your man. Maybe he's figuring something out here
He's
over
been
the last
blowing up. He's been blowing up
I don't
lately.
care what he does between the months of October and April. It's April to June that I care about. Talk to me in May,
True.
and we'll see how he's doing then.
True.
I
Fair
mean,
enough.
the last 7, 4 goals, 5 assists,
Good
3
for him.
power play points. You know,
He's
7
heating up.
takeaways.
He's
He's
heating
getting
up.
there.
I'm playing hard to get. Ask Igor. It took me 3 seasons to come around on Igor, so Nika's got his work cut out. Chris, out of curiosity, who calls the NHL Network games?
I couldn't even tell you. I mean, I couldn't even tell you. I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't tuning in on Sunday, so I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, that's why I just listen to
It's
Maloney.
always blacked out for us. Yeah,
It's more of a
I can't
mute
get
kind of
it.
thing for me. I'm just watching it in the background on NHL Network. Like I'm not gonna, waste my time bothering and who's calling the game versus who's not. I mean, if it's not on the Rangers broadcast, I don't want it type thing. Same thing with the Mets. So but yeah, I mean, like I said, I couldn't watch it, so I'm relying on you all to provide me some insight. Because like I said, like obviously, it's a win, 6-5. all the guys who you want to score in a game and you want to see turn it around, like Mika, Keandre, score like Cooley with the goal too. Like you'd love to see that, but like at the end of the day, it's a sloppy win. Like let's just call a spade a spade. So, what are your thoughts, Jerry?
This game needs to shut up anybody who thinks there's even a conversation for the starting goaltending position. That's
That's
just what this game comes down to. 23 saves on 5 goals is kind of like, and I'm a quick guy. I'm in his corner. I'm happy to have him. I very much so defended him on this podcast, and I think he's great. This type of performance, when that's a conversation that many different people are having, that doesn't help your cause at all. And I think that needs to show everybody, like, okay, like you look at the Predator. Actually, it's just the Predators game because he only gave up 2 against the Red Wings. The Predators game, Igor let in 3 goals that were kind of goals and pretty like. Even in the Red Wings game, he let those 2 goals very close to each other, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, this guy is blah blah blah, whatever." Um, it's what do you do after that, and how you keep your composure. Do you? I'm not gonna. Now I'm gonna say a bad word that might offend Jonathan Quick, Milford native. I know he's listening. Um, but as you turtle after you give up that 1 goal and just kind of lose your head and let more in and not regain your composure, or do you let a goal in, take a deep breath, and then just stand on your head and make 10 more saves in a row and keep your team in it on top, ready to go? And one goes one way, one goes the other way. So again, after watching this game, if you think that Jonathan Quick even has a smidgen of a chance to be the starting goalie on the New York Rangers, you're watching a different hockey team. I don't know. Go to a Wolfpack game. I don't know what to tell you.
But Jerry, he's 7-0-1, all right, with a
Good. I'm
238
so proud of him.
goal
I'm
against.
so proud of him, and I'm so happy to hear that our second string goaltender, knock on wood, is undefeated in regulation. I think that's fantastic. I think we're the best backup goalie in the NHL, and I want to keep it that way because that's all he really has the room to be on this team. I'm sorry, but Igor Shesterkin is our goalie until at least, I don't know, 2028, 2030, probably onward if we're being honest, but that's a little ambitious. Um, that being said, like you said, Chris, the stat sheet here tells the tale of the tape. We got all the heavy hitters coming around, and we love to see it. Surprised to see Kreider not on the score sheet, but I do think he had a point in this game. Yeah, he did, right? Yeah, he had an assist. Um, but yeah, that's really it. Is hang up heavy. The Sharks are a team that we had no business beating this. Like, remember how I said we don't really have to worry about beating the really bad teams and really putting the hurting on them. This is a team I would have very much so liked to put the hurting on, but it is what it
For
is. Like you
real.
said, win's a win. We shouldn't be upset about it.
I mean, when we were down 2-0, of course, the former Rangers, Anthony Duclair and Ryan Carpenter, I was like, oh
Duclair
God.
always scores agaast the Rangers, even
I
when he was in
know, it's
Florida.
so
Always.
annoying. It's his revenge because he was only here for us for a short period of time until he shipped him off to Phoenix.
3 years.
But I mean, I was surprised too. I mean, like with Panarin's hat trick, and we were up 6-3 at that point, and all of a sudden the 2 goals came in at the end. I'm like, oh, I haven't seen it where a player has had a hat trick and lost. So I was just like, really, like this dude literally has a hat trick for us, and we're gonna lose for him. But I mean, at least the positive is that we're not the New Jersey Devils, and they lost 6-3 to the Sharks the other night before they played us. So that's a positive, I guess. But yeah, no, Igor should definitely be the starter. There should be no like debate if it's Jonathan Quick or Igor. Again, Igor is literally coming off an injury that he was out for 21 days for. He's probably still just getting in the groove again. And I mean, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you all are wondering, Panarin up to 15 goals, Kreider right behind him at 14. Panarin's at 35 points right now. So those are the top 2 guys in the pecking order there in terms of those offensive categories. So, gentlemen, anything else that we have on this team over the last 3 games? We play Ottawa, I believe, tomorrow on the 5th. And I got nothing else in the last 3 games. Like I said, the overall sentiment is, are the Rangers playing their best hockey the last 2 wins? No. Did they win the game? Yes. Are they winning with both goaltenders in net? Yes. And everybody's contributing on this team, maybe outside of a guy like Blake Wheeler, who's just not figuring it out as much as people have wanted him to.
Happens.
But Yeah. And so, like I said, like Mika's coming around. Aaron just fired off, how he's looking over the last, would you say 7 games, Aaron?
Yeah.
Yeah, over the last 7. Kreider staying hot, surprised she's not on this scoreboard here, but we got Artemi times 3. So it's like I said, 18-4-1. I'm not gonna I hate to like throw that in everybody's face and be like, shut up, and we're the best team in the
No, you
NHL.
can. You absolutely can.
We're
You
doing
absolutely
we're
should.
doing better than the Golden Knights. So I think we're tied right now in points with the Bruins, but we are still number one.
I thought they were at 36. Or am I mistaken?
I'm
I'll
gonna look
right
that
now.
up.
Hold
I'm
on, I have it.
pretty sure we were like, it was weird. Like, we have more wins, but we're tied with them.
Did they lose to the Jackets the other night? Because I know that they were down again to the Jackets.
No, I think that was they won that one. No, we have 37 points right now with the Bruins, but they have they have 1 game more played than we do, and then and then it's the Golden Knights at 36. But I will say
we had the tiebreaker too because we beat them.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
Yep. I will say though, the Sunday game is going to be a very big test because we're playing the LA Kings. And I don't know if you know, but they put a hurt in
Kings are
on the
good.
Avalanche. Yes.
Except when you put money on them and need them to win to complete your parlay, then they're going to lose. But
apparently.
Yes. But that's going to be a good one in the last 3. I mean, we have a kind of a tough stretch in December right now from what I'm looking at, because after the Kings, it's Maple Leafs, and then the Ducks, they're kind of in the middle. That could be a trap game, and then it's like Bruins, Leafs again. So.
Damn, that is a tough stretch.
Hard,
Are you guys
hard battles make strong men? So
Yep.
I'm ready to go.
True.
I'm not afraid.
True. Are we expecting the President's Cup, or is this a little too early to tell how that vibe's
let's not
gonna
get
go?
ahead of ourselves.
I actually wouldn't want the President's Cup because I feel like there's like 3 teams,
Last time
3
we
or
won
4
it, we
teams.
went to the Stanley Cup Finals. We didn't win, but we went there. So that's a plus.
I mean, the history itself has not been too kind to President's Cup trophy winners.
Yeah.
AKA the Boston Bruins, AKA the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Don't do Hollywood Ray like that, man.
I'll do him like that all day. Absolutely.
Did the Lightning win it back to back?
Yes, I believe so. Because that 2019 one,
right?
Yeah, because I think 2019 was the last time that they lost with the President's Cup because they got smacked. Who did they get smacked by?
The Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yes,
they swept them.
That's right.
They swept them, and they had to let out an apology letter on Twitter. It was actually hilarious.
This is why I got my guys on here with me to the side, because these are my NHL historians here, always digging some knowledge from deep down within the depths.
There's no professional sports team I care more about than the New York Rangers. That's
there
it.
You go.
Plain and simple.
Plain and simple. That's why we're happy to have you on this podcast. Do you guys have anything else about this this Ranger squad right now? Or are we gonna hold all reservations until the next podcast over whenever we go live or drop another pre-recorded episode?
I got nothing. Put Panarin on MVP watch. I think he might walk away with that this year. I think he's playing out of his mind. I think he shatters 100 points. I think he's just I saw a tweet the other day that was just like, never forget when this man took less money to play on Broadway instead of going to play for the Islanders for, a Brinks truck. And every day I thank my lucky stars and Artemi Panarin is a New York Ranger. He's been nothing but a delight to have on this team. I remember when he came into the fold, everyone's like, he's a diva, he's going to cause problems, this, that, and the other thing. Nope. He's a Ranger through and through, and if he keeps it up and wins a cup, I hate to say it, but number 10 might be in the Raptors next to number 20. I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but it's a strong possibility if he just solidifies his legacy.
Sure.
Yeah,
Aaron?
Yeah. I think he only had that one story that was just like a little confusing. I think it's when Dan Quinn was the head coach. It was like something that happened in Russia, but other than that,
when the mafia was going to get him, I forgot about that.
he was out for a few games, but he's been great. I remember that free agency too, and it was like, oh, where's they gonna go, Bobrovsky or Panarin? And we swiped them up from the Islanders. I think the Devils were looking at him too at that point. But also too, I kind of hope. I mean, depending what happens, especially with the play of Blake Wheeler and all that, is obviously Brennan Othmann has been tearing it up right now in Hartford. So I think he's got 8 or 10 2 point games like in a row or something like that, or out of the last 12. So
Yeah,
hopefully
we
we can get
alluded
him
to it
on there.
before. He scored a beautiful overtime winner
Yeah, that one
to
was
put
nice.
the Phantoms down on Friday night. I'm excited. He's playing out of his mind right now. I know he's in the minor leagues, but when there's smoke, there's fire. So I think that game's gonna translate over to the pros. So, or whatever, the big leagues, because I guess the AHL is the pros too. But
Sure.
hopefully we see him up. I would say honestly, probably by the All-Star break, depending on what happens. If we ship Wheeler at the deadline or something to get rid of him, some people just don't pan out under the bright lights of Broadway. It happens. It's not his fault. Look at last episode we shouted him out. Kevin Shattenkirk. Shit happens. So see how this plays out.
Yep, I definitely agree. We'll see. We'll monitor that situation, and we'll monitor the New York Rangers moving forward. They're obviously on a roll as per the thumbnail. Appreciate everyone rocking with us. If you weren't able to tune into the live stream, hit the chat. Make sure you go ahead and comment your thoughts and opinions. Hit that thumbs up if you're watching the replay of this. Always appreciate the support and the subscribers. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't for more Rangers content. You know where to find me. All social media handles are at CPNY Sports. I'm not going to keep that up there because everyone knows who I am by now and where to find me. I'm not going to keep saying it. Yeah, nobody knows. And the primary thing is here. Go and subscribe to That's My Sports on YouTube. Follow Aaron on X at It's the Cast Man. Jerry, I will find a time to put up your X
It'll
handle,
happen.
but here is sunnydaysinflushing.com.
He's
And
like,
both of these gentlemen's YouTube pages are going to be down in the description below. So make sure you all are subscribing to the channels. Last word, gentlemen, before we get out of here.
yes, check out the Sunny Days media, the YouTube in general, just because the Thursday night the previews are always fun, and I try to get to watch the Sundays, but it just depends because of when I work. But great shows, and also Jerry is like Kevin Durant, multiple burner accounts, so he's definitely around in the X world. So
Thank you. Yeah, our football show is fun. Also on that note, Chris keeps shout out the blogs. The productions with this and the football show have been taking up my time, and I also don't have a computer at the moment. I promise you, everyone who's listening, the blogs will be making a return once I receive my laptop that I will be getting in a couple of weeks. So once I get my laptop, I'll have a lot more time in my hands. I'm going to be firing all these blogs off because there's a lot to talk about with this team. This team, the NFL, all that's going around. So keep your ear to the ground. We'll keep you posted.
Definitely. I appreciate your gentlemen's time. Appreciate everyone tuning in, or that will tune in. I definitely appreciate that. We'll be back with another episode of the Blueshirts Banter podcast. This was episode 6. Episode 7 is coming up tomorrow. We play Ottawa, and we will see what the final result is. But as of right now, the New York Rangers are still the league's best, and let's hope to keep it that way. It's your boy CP back, or Wars Live with my boys Aaron and Jerry. We'll be back next time. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. We are out.